Welcome to another episode of What Day Is It? I feel like I haven't introduced it like that in
quite a while.
a few episodes at least, but we're on our bi-weekly schedule, so I guess things are just, a little bit different now since we're trying to reel things in and deliver some better content, tales, stories, and all the critters that we talk about. Across the table from me today, next to Fluffy over there, we actually have a guest. I know. How long's it been since we've done that?
It's been a long time. In-person guest, it's been months.
Who was the last?
I can't remember.
Colin?
No, it was like the first one.
Gosh, I don't know. Man, I can't remember. But anyway, Fluffy, take it off for us. You made this magic happen.
So this is my mom's cousin, Teddy. Brought him in because he did a Iditarod and had dogs. Do you have anything else, or?
No, we raised sled dogs for about 20 years professionally.
Oh, wow, 20 years.
Yeah, now we're out of it. Now we only have a canary.
You're still shooting bow, though, right?
Still into archery, bow hunting, tournament shooting yet, yeah.
Sure.
Wonder if he ever plays Jamie.
Maybe. He does a lot of bow.
He does, yeah.
Who's that?
Jamie Hammond. Guy who used to work here.
Name rings a bell.
Yeah, it could be.
He's been doing bow for a while. I don't know how competitive he is.
No.
But.
Okay.
And AJ, too, I think.
Yeah.
I think they were both shooting. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. We usually just talk to ourselves once a week, so
okay.
It's nice to get somebody on. But I was just telling him, I was excited about this because we were just talking about sled dogs,
Yeah, we did Balto and Tugo.
Okay.
So
and I was just explaining to everybody that Balto, yeah, he made the final leg, but Tugo was like the number one dog that got through everything.
So let's just, I guess, take it from the top. Let's just dive right into sled dogs. How old were you when you got into it? Why'd you get into it?
Okay, when we were kids, we had chickens, rabbits, racing pigeons. And when I got to be about 27, 28 years old, I got the bug to get a dog, and I always wanted an Alaskan Malamute.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought a black and white female Malamute, and we used her. We obedient trained her. We showed her and stuff. And then another cousin of mine, she showed Siberian Huskies. And she called one day and asked if we would like to go with her and her husband to a race up at Green Lake, Wisconsin, and see the dog races.
Yeah.
So we went up there. There was 6 of us went up there. And after seeing 3 dogs pull a person our size 3 miles across the lake, I thought, this is something I got to get into.
I didn't know they did that at Green Lake, though. That's cool.
Well, we used to have, I belonged to Wisconsin Trailblazers Sled Dog Club, and we had over 100 members at one time.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if they got 20.
Sure.
Because of the cost and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there, watched them run. They had 3 dogs, 5 dogs, 7 dogs. And then the open dog class was fascinating. That was 10, 12, 14 dogs, and they'd go.
Crap.
They'd go 15 to 20 miles they'd run.
That's crazy.
And that was on the lake.
That was on Big Green then?
Big Green Lake, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, come home, and the wheels started turning. You start thinking, I got to do this, So went out, got a couple Siberian Huskies, and played with them for a while. First race I ever went to was up at Stiles, Wisconsin, just north of Green Bay. I ran in a 3-dog class there. That was 3 miles, and I got 3rd place.
Oh, wow.
Quick.
And I thought, boy, this is ideal for me, Well, then you're watching the guys that are running more dogs, and you figure, boy, I got to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple of more Siberians and ran them for, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years. And then the guys that have Alaskan Huskies, these are the guys that they'll show you who's in charge. These dogs are a crossbreed. They got a lot of hound in them, Siberian. They have German Shepherd, a lot of for the tough pads. on their feet and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So after getting beat a lot around here in Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, we got a couple of Alaskan Huskies from friends of mine in Wisconsin, got a couple out of Michigan, and we done all right at the races, Never won anything big, but made the top 10 several times. A lot of second, third places. And at that time, they gave out trophies and plaques.
Okay.
The guys that run the open class, 10, 12 dogs and more, those were the guys that got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything.
Sure.
Yep.
So anyway, played with them for a few years and all of a sudden decided, man, I need a lot better dogs to keep up, So a friend of mine in Jackson, Michigan, his name is Frank Hall. He was a retired body shop guy from one of the big three there, car manufacturers. Started building dog sleds, and he became world famous. So I bought a dog sled from him, and after first year I had it, I got in contact with him because he'd done both like I did, sprint racing and cross country. And he said, yeah, I got dogs for sale and stuff. Come on up and see me. So I went up to Jackson, Michigan, bought another sled, bought a couple more dogs.
I know how that goes.
Yeah. Played around with that for a while. And then one day Frank said to me, he says, you ever think about going to Alaska to see the Iditarod? I says, well, yeah, but, going alone, no fun. Frank says, I always wanted to go too.
Mm-hmm.
So this was 1980. So Frank says, I got a buddy up there that used to live in Jackson, Michigan. He lives in Wasilla. He runs Iditarod dogs, and he runs a print shop there, him and his wife and the family.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we can stay by them when we go up. So we went up there. I think it was probably end of February, because the first Saturday in March, the Iditarod starts every year in Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the year we were there, they didn't have enough snow, so they started at Nancy Lake, about 60 miles away. So we went there, and there was people from all over the world there, camera crews, TV stations, and never saw nothing that big for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So we met a lot of the local guys that we read about in dog magazines and stuff, and we watched these guys take off. And where they took off, it was a flat spot, and they went up a hill, looked like a mountain, and them dogs pulled them guys on them sleds with all that gear in them sleds.
Jeez.
Like a
Wild.
rocket. A lot of them guys had 16, 18, 20 dogs.
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's a lot going
So,
on.
oh yeah. So now when you finish the race, you have to have at least, at that time, half your team. So if you started with 18, you needed to finish with 9.
Sure.
Now, what happens on the Iditarod is there's 26 stations, checkpoints that you stop at.
Mm-hmm.
So months ahead of time, you pack whatever gear you think that you're going to need. Dog food, your food, extra clothes, medications, whatever, meat and stuff for the dogs. And they take all this stuff to Anchorage, to the airport, and they fly all this stuff from all the guys that are going to race to all 26 checkpoints, and they drop all this stuff off. It's usually big skids of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come into a checkpoint, your stuff is waiting there for you, what you need. What you don't need, the locals, the natives, they'll take it off your hands real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet.
You don't have to ask if anybody wants anything.
So, like, what kind of gear is on the sled then?
Okay, on a sled, they got a toboggan sled. It's a
Mhm.
long sled. It's not a racing sled like we had. And in there, they got padding in there. They got a sleeping bag in there. They carry extra harnesses, lines, dog food,
Okay.
extra clothes. They carry, they eat a lot of oranges. because you're running behind dogs too and pushing up hills and that.
Oh yeah, I
Sure.
suppose you're still running.
You
Yeah.
know, Hershey candy bars are great. You know, they gotta slow it up. A couple of guys had, a few brews, and when you get to the checkpoint, there's veterinarians at every checkpoint.
Oh, wow.
So they check all your dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see something's not right, they'll tell you about it. And you don't have to say, oh, well, no, he's okay. He'll make it the next checkpoint. When they tell you, you have to scratch that dog.
Okay.
Oh wow.
You're done. So you have to leave enough food for 3 or 5 days there at the checkpoints for your dog. But the people at the checkpoints, most of them all have sled dogs anyway
Sure.
for recreation. So what happens with those dogs that get dropped off is they send airplanes from Anchorage.
Wow.
They pick these dogs up. They take them back to the prison in Anchorage, and they have a great big dog yard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's neat.
that's pretty
And
cool.
the prisoners take care of the dogs.
How cool is
Wow.
that?
Okay. So anyway, as you keep progressing,
Mm-hmm.
there's spots that are flat. There's spots up and down. There's curves you go around.
Mm-hmm.
You'd faint if you were on a sled behind them because they definitely run downhill quick. So then when I was up there, it took them like about 17, 18 days to run the 1,149 miles.
Oh
Wow.
But now they run it in 10 to 11 days.
Sure.
Now those dogs, Iditarod dogs, will run 10, 11, 12 miles an hour. For the sprint dogs that I ran, they would run 20 to 24 miles an hour. So you're standing on a sled that sprint racing that weighs 25 to 30 pounds.
Sure.
And when you take off, you're going.
Jeez.
And
That's
about
fast,
3/4 of the way, they finally get into it where they get into a rhythm
Mm-hmm.
where you don't have to panic that you're going to tip over. And when it comes to curves and downhill, they speed up,
Sure.
And, but anyway, with the Iditarod dogs, they have a 24-hour layover period during the race, and you can take it any checkpoint you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's when you get your first good hot meal, your first shower, change underwear, and stuff,
Life's good.
Yeah, and the people there in the villages, that's the big event for all of them for the year.
Oh, I
Mhm.
bet. Yeah.
They're glad you're there,
Right.
So what we done the first year when we were there, we watched them start the race at Nancy Lake. And the guy we stayed with, Levon Barvey, he's the guy that ran the Iditarod several times. He said, hey, let's hire a plane and we'll go fly to Squint. Now, that was about 120 miles from Wasilla, and that was one of the first checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So on a Sunday morning, 3 of us left with the pilot, and we flew down there. We got on a river, and all these dog teams are already there. From when they left at 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, they're already at 120 miles
Mm-hmm.
into the check station. So all these guys, they're taking care of the dogs. People are there with pictures, TV stations, all that stuff. And we talked to a lot of guys in that. And some of the locals, the natives, they didn't really care much for us,
Sure.
So as soon as we landed with the plane, we tied it down. And this chief from the village, he come walking up to us. And you talk about something scary with his parka and,
Yeah.
they're rough life. And he said to us, how long you be here? And the guy, the pilot, he says, as soon as I get her gassed up, we're gone. And the chief said, good. And he turned around and walked away.
Wow.
Well, we stayed there like 6-7 hours,
Sure.
But
Oof.
then I met Joe Reddington. He's an old timer that started the Iditarod. Years ago, I believe they raced it. Then they stopped racing it for years, and Joe brought it back in the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were up there, we went to Joe's dog yard. Joe had 200 dogs.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
and Joe knew the name of every dog there. So
That's
me and
impressive.
Frank, buddy from Jackson, Michigan, he showed us a dog named Feet. It was a black and white male.
Mm-hmm.
I never seen dogs on feet on a husky as big as this dog had. And he got up on the doghouse, lick you to death, really friendly and stuff. And Joe let us take pictures, with him and that. Well, then this girl comes walking into the dog yard, and she looked familiar. We didn't know, ring a bell. And Joe said, "Oh, this is my dog handler. Her name is Sue Butcher." Now, I don't know if you guys ever heard of her. She raced dogs up there, the Iditarod. She won several races.
Okay.
She beat a lot of the guys.
Sure.
Well, Sue
man.
got all the knowledge from Joe. She got some good dogs from Joe. And then finally she broke off with her husband, and they went and they raced themselves. So Joe got kind of old. He didn't race anymore. But he would lease a team of dogs to you or I if you wanted to lease them for thousands of dollars.
Ooh.
So you could run the Iditarod then?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
for
you
sure.
have to run a preliminary race like 200-300 miles before you can do the Iditarod to show that you're capable of handling the dogs
Oh, yeah.
and yourself. Now, as far as I know, no person ever died running the Iditarod.
Mm-hmm.
Some dogs did die, different causes. Some were sick, some had inverted stomachs. Not too many, though.
Right.
And those dogs, that's your problem. You got to get them back to Anchorage, too, when something happens.
Right.
So anyway, Joe showed us some of the famous dogs, and then he showed us a sled shop, and he must have had 30 sleds in there, racing sleds and
Jeez.
cross-country sleds.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked him, "Joe, you sell any of these sleds?" "Nah," he says, I use them all. Well, one guy don't use 25, 30 sleds, Excuse me. So then Sue Butcher, she talked to us for quite a while. She won a few Iditarods, and she had an incident one year where moose came in front of her dog team on the trail. A
That's
cow
terrifying.
A cow came with her calf,
Uh-huh.
and the cow ain't moving. Well, your dogs want to get past there.
Yeah.
So she's trying to hold them, and they're barking, jumping up and down. And the moose came over and kicked and killed two of her lead dogs.
Oh, no.
That's
And
terrifying.
she had like 16 or 18 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they come out, took
no.
care of that, and she continued on, finished the race, And there's several other people that had that problem too, where all these villages, they groom the trails so that you can run on them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's no way going through that deep snow, where you're going to go.
Right.
So anyway, everybody carries a pistol or a rifle. And if the moose come out, they shoot in the air to scare them. 9 out of 10 do not move, the guy said. So you wait till they move or you go around them.
That's a big animal.
Yeah, scary, especially with the calf, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So a lot of the running is done at night.
Okay.
And the dog drivers have headlights
Mm-hmm.
on their head. And you can see at night pretty good with the northern lights and everything, the snow. And these guys will put on 30, 40, 50 miles at night,
Wow.
going 8, 10, 12 miles an hour with them dogs.
Why do they favor to run at night?
For some reason, it's a lot cooler. And
Okay.
I guess to psych out the other guys you're against, they're all laying there resting late in the afternoon.
Sure.
As soon as it gets dark, you hook up and you take off.
Okay.
But you have to tell the checkers at the station you're taking off,
I see.
and they write your time in and your team number and tag and all that stuff. And any other guys, they'll leave, tomorrow morning, and they'll catch up to you because you're resting someplace.
Mm-hmm.
But once they start to get to the end, like the White Mountain, the race is on. Then it gets crazy. That's the last checkpoint before you hit Nome.
Mm.
And I don't remember if it's 30 or 40 miles from White Mountain to Nome. And they cover that in no time because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them dogs already been on that trail before.
Right.
And they know that that's the end. When we get there, we're done running.
Right.
Okay, so once you get to Nome, they got a big arch, TV cameras,
Mm-hmm.
people from all over the world are there. You cross the finish line, it's like you win the Super Bowl up there. Everybody's hollering
Oh,
and
I bet, yeah.
screaming.
That ought to be cool.
Now, one of the guys that I used to stay with in Wasilla that I got sprint dogs from, his wife's sister owned the main tavern in Nome where they had the banquet. So that night they used to party hardy there, the teams that came in right away. Well, they kept the race on until the last guy finished the race. And what they gave you for an award was a red lantern. So that evidently you're slow, you need more light or something to run at night. I don't know how they done that. But we were there, we flew there from Wasilla there, to Nome by her sister and stayed there for about 4 days and watched the teams and that come in. And them dogs looked just as healthy as when they left Anchorage.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And any one of them dogs you can walk up to, you can pet, anything, they're all buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And they know they're done. Now, how do you get back home
Yeah.
from Nome back to Anchorage where your truck and stuff is?
Sure didn't think of that.
Okay, you don't run back because the rivers open up.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere you can go with the dogs to come back to Anchorage. So they got planes, cargo planes that come from Anchorage, and they pick you up and your dogs and whatever gear and stuff you got left.
Wow.
Sure.
And they fly you back to Anchorage. Now, the top dollar for winning that race used to be $50,000. And later on, they were given $50,000 in a brand new pickup truck.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
So it cost you. I know the guy I stayed with, he would go through about $30,000-$40,000 out of his pocket,
Ooh.
and he ran 12, 14 dogs,
Sure.
and he made the top 10 a couple times, and he got some money back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they used to pay out to about 25 places.
Okay.
And there used to be 80, 90 people ran the Iditarod, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Now there's only 40 or 50 that run it.
That's a lot of people
Yeah,
still.
that's-
Like,
yeah.
Right.
Wow.
There's a group up there that wants to stop the Iditarod. They're saying that that's cruelty to animals.
Oh, I'm sure they are saying that.
So they're like PETA.
Yeah.
So they got a big deal going on up there now. I seen it on TV a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what's going on with that. But that to them is like Packers winning the Super Bowl, NASCAR racing, Brewers winning, Bucks winning, and that's the big thing up there.
Right.
So when we were up there the first time, we wondered, why are these guys going in winter on this 1,200-mile trip, 1,149 miles. So those guys, come October, they don't work anymore. They're either fishing, like the guy I used to stay with, or they were contractors. So they had nothing to do. So that was like their vacation, their camping trip, where you and I would go during the summer. These guys went during the winter time. So the one guy I stayed with that ran the Iditarod, we went out for 4 days one time on the Iditarod Trail. That's right in his backyard, the river.
Okay.
So him and I and his son, we each had 14 dogs hooked up. We went and we slept out for 3 nights. It was 30 below.
Oh.
So, well, anyway,
God.
first thing you get there is you stake the dogs out. You drive rods in the ground. You got a chain and you hook all the dogs. And then you got straw and stuff you throw down, and they lay on that and they sleep outside. Well, we had dug a pit. We got the sleds around the pit, the sleeping bags. Then we start chopping wood like jackrabbits
Yeah.
and kept that
Yeah.
fire going all night. So it really wasn't that bad. I mean, it was cool, but, not like being out without, and
That's
we had plenty of
crazy.
parkas and all that stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down the Iditarod Trail, to a couple of checkpoints, turned around and came back to Wasilla where they lived, to his yard. And that was kind of neat. And to me, it seemed kind of slow with the dogs compared to running sprint dogs, you know. But that's what they done, and it's an experience. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't do it now. As you get older, I used to love winter. Now, not so much anymore. But
Me neither.
It was
you
pretty
know,
bad this winter too. 30 below. That was a cold
yeah.
day here.
If
Well,
I had to camp in -30, I'd probably cry about it. I would be a big baby.
well, the dogs I had down here, I had 8 dogs. They were my leaders at my house where I lived in Milwaukee. And then there's a farm on College Avenue Ray Van Beck had. And I used to keep more dogs by Ray that were the dogs that ran in the middle of the team.
Mhm.
So I had a big trailer and we packed the dogs. And I used to run at the farm by Ray up to about 6 miles I could get there. Then as the season got later, we would go to Kettle Moraine South and we'd run on the horse trails. And we could get 10, 12, 14 miles there running the horse trails and go out to Palmyra. Now, the only problem was we were running on carts that weighed probably 400 or 500 pounds. 2 people could stand on them. You had 2 car tires on the side
Mhm.
and a smaller tire on the front, and then your steering. Well, that toughened the dogs, but you didn't get a lot of speed out of it. Well, now when you get snow and you get on a 25, 30-pound sled, you're honking.
Oh yeah.
So we train out there. They groom the trails. The warden out there, he told the snowmobilers, when you see the guys with the dogs, they got the right of way and stuff. So we never had a problem with horses
That's cool.
or dogs. They would pull over and they'd all wave to you, or they'd want you to stop to take your picture or something.
It's like famous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you come back to the trailer, and you pet the dogs. We give them a big chunk of liver about the size of your fist. Then we give them water, and you take them back home, put them in a kennel, and they had their water and stuff there.
Mhm.
And they got fed only once a day. Now, I had a sponsor, Pet Pro Plan for dog food. And I got on a sponsorship with them through some friends of mine from Traverse, Michigan that were sponsored by them. They had big teams of dogs they ran. So they paid for the food, your entry fees, and you got a little on the side.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
And some of the races that I participated in, I never won a big race because I never had a big team or anything.
Mhm.
But I made money and, paid for your trip, your motel, and
Absolutely.
dog food and stuff for the season. Then I got to a point where I'm looking at harnesses people had. And there was 4 or 5 people that would sell harnesses in a dog magazine for sled dogs. And I bought several of them. Some fit right, some didn't fit right. So I thought, man, I got to start making harnesses and collars. So I got an old treadle sewing machine, learned how to work that. Got nylon webbing, made collars, made harnesses. Had a great business doing that on the side.
Oh nice.
So
Yeah.
that paid a lot for dogs and stuff.
Mhm.
The dogs I bought in Alaska, I think the cheapest dog I ever bought was $500.
Wow.
And the most expensive, I bought a pair of 2-year-olds, a brother and a sister, that cost me $5,000.
Ooh.
And that was
Within,
what year?
huh?
What year was that in?
About 1982,
So,
83.
yeah, that was.
Wow.
Oh man.
So within 2 years, I made that money back.
Oh wow.
There you go.
So
Ooh,
that was
quick.
all right.
Absolutely.
So then, all summer you're on a sewing machine, and you don't do anything with the dogs in the summertime. It's
Sure.
too warm. So they're just in kennels. Those at the farm, they were on 6-foot chains,
Mhm.
and they're dog houses.
Sure.
So every day we fed them, watered them, and all of that. And come end of September, October, getting a little cooler, they'd start whining. They knew, it's time to start running again. So we went through a lot of dogs over the years. The dogs, we got rid of them. Some went to other people that raised dogs. Some went to people that wanted pets. I had a couple older ones that were old. We just had put down
Sure.
instead of having them, suffer the winter.
Mhm.
Never got bit by a dog,
That's
but had an
Impressive.
incident up at Green Bay one year at Brown County Reforestation Camp. They had half a dozen Packer players up there for the dog race.
Mm-hmm.
And we had over 100 dog teams there.
Ooh.
People come, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Canada. So these guys, they got this big barrel of soup they called Bosch or something. And the Packer guys are doing that. So one of them came over by me with his 2 boys and, hey, I had the dogs out because I was getting ready to go and got them chained up every 6 feet. Hey, is it okay if the kids look or pet the dogs? I said, oh, yeah, no problem. You know, they're all right. So I'm doing something with the sled to get ready, and all of a sudden this boy starts hollering and screaming and crying. I turn around, I look, and the kid's got his hands on his face. I thought, oh, man, I'm going to need a lawyer. The kid got bit by a dog.
Oh, no.
So we walk up to him, and his dad says, what happened? What happened? And the kid's crying, and he took his hands off his face, and I'm looking for blood or something. And he said, he was tasting me. He was going to eat me. The dog was just licking the kid, you know. So then he brought his brother over by, it was a female, and she was licking him, you know. And the kid was scared because somebody told him if they lick you, they're going to eat you.
That's
or something.
funny. Oh,
You
poor
know.
kid.
Yeah. On the trail with dogs, too, it's like you're driving a car. The faster teams pass you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you put your foot on a brake, try to slow down a little bit and keep talking to your dogs and hope they don't tangle and get the lines mixed up.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, yeah,
does,
it's happened.
yeah.
Or you come up on a slow team and the dogs turn around. They want to look at your dogs. Your dogs stop now. They want to see what their dogs are.
Right.
And here you are with 10, 12 dogs trying to straighten that out. Now, on your sled, you have what's called a snow hook. It's made out of 1/2-inch steel rod, and it's curved like 2 question marks. It's got a handle on it. You put that in the ground, and where the prongs are going to snow, and you stomp on that with your foot, and you push the sled forward, and the dogs pull, and that's all that holds them. So if you got to untangle somebody, or if a dog is going lame or something on there, you got to throw it in the sled. That's the only thing that holds you. If they pull that hook out of the ground, you got a long walk back to the starting line, your truck, or wherever they may go.
Sure.
I had it happen once training out at Kettle Moraine, but never in a race.
Oh.
So it was about a 4-mile walk back to the truck.
No.
One year we were racing in Illinois at Rock Cut State Park. They have a big festival. And we had, I don't know, probably about 50 dog teams there, probably in February sometime. And people were running in the 5-dog class, 5 miles. And from the hill where the starting line was, you could see where the dogs ran through an open field. A bunch of deer came out and they started chasing the dogs. And the next dog team came through. They started chasing the deer. Man, I saw two guys on sleds. I'll bet you they never done that again. Having them deer chasing their dogs, and them dogs are going from them deer, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Them deer can be scary sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Up in Alaska, when we took the plane and we went to a couple of checkpoints, we saw a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
And the pilot, he got real low that he could get, real slow, and we could get pictures out the window of him. He said some of them wolves are 150, 160 pounds.
Ooh.
So I said, how do you know that? And he says, I had one jump on me one time. He says, when we were hunting. So
That's scary.
Yeah, they know,
Oh.
But
now, do they ever use like a wolf hybrid kind of thing for dog racing, or?
Yeah, there's an old guy. Well, he's dead now. His name was Joe Kotke. Lived in Illinois. Started a dredging business in Alaska. He lived in Wasilla. He had Alaskan Malamutes, and somewhere along the line, he had a female wolf come by his kennel, and she was friendly. So Joe started feeding her, and he could pet her and everything, and they named her Daffy. So Joe, had the dog, had the wolf with his dogs. There was never a fight or anything going on. Then he bred one of his males with her. Had, I don't know, 5 or 6 puppies. Then he trained them dogs when they were about 7, 8 months old. But they didn't want to run real super fast, Joe said, during the day. And he did it again the following year, bred her some more. They had about a dozen pups like that. Got them all working together real good. And he signed up for the Iditarod. Well, take off at 2 in the afternoon. They were okay. Come night, they were running good. Joe stopped. He said, well, I'll wait, till tomorrow morning, let them rest. They don't run during the day. They would only run at night. So Joe got a lesson that they'll work, but they ran at night.
Sure.
And he said there was no quitting in none of them. He had 12 of them he ran. And he said there was no quitting in none of them. And he says, I never had a problem with a dog that broke a leg, broke a pad, a dog fight or anything. He said they were all, really tame. And so when we were by Joe in 1980, he had a couple of them, and we got in the dog yard. Joe had about 20 dogs left, and he didn't race no more. He just recreation sledded with them. And we got in there, we got to pet them, but they would back up when you pet them. Put your hand down, their head came forward. If you pet them again, their head went back. Then you go up to the Malamutes he had, they'd lick you to death. So that was kind of interesting to see something like that. A lot of the dogs up there, they're crossed with hounds. There's a lot of greyhound, a lot of Siberian husky, setter. Setter's got good, tough pads, hunting dogs.
Right.
We went by a guy named Earl Norris one day. He had over 150 Siberians.
So many dogs, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
So
and
loud.
he had Joe. He had younger people or kids racing dogs for him, and they'd done pretty good. Now we went to a feed mill in Wasilla when we first got there, and the Iditarod office was across the street from this feed mill, up on the second floor from a grocery store. So we're looking at all these skids of dog food that they have on the pellets outside. Hill Science Diet, Heinz dog food, and Eukanuba, the most expensive dog food. At that time, that was $30, $40 for a 40-pound bag.
Sure.
And that's what these Iditarod guys fed the dogs. Now, they also fed meat. They had a lot of chicken and different stuff that they all had their own secret mix. And then you would go down to the shipping docks in Anchorage, and you would buy 1,000-pound skid of fish heads frozen, and they would deliver that to your house. So all these guys that ran dogs, even the sprint dogs, they had these skids in their backyards, and they had a couple of 55-gallon drums, half full of water with heat. So they'd dump maybe half water in there, a couple gallons of oil, like Wesson oil and stuff.
Sure.
They dump the dried dog food in there. And then they take a chainsaw and an axe, and off of this skid of fish heads, they start cutting big chunks, frozen, and they throw them in them barrels. Now, they would start that like 10, 11 in the morning. And all day they kept that fire going. 7 days a week they'd done this.
Oof.
And what that done was all the bones in the fish heads would go to the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
And all of the heads would come up to the top. So then they let that cool, and they take 5-gallon buckets and a 3-pound coffee can or something. And then they'd feed all the dogs. All the dogs, they'd take a bowl and they'd put that in there. And they fed them every night, like 8, 9 o'clock at night. and they only got fed once a day up there.
Mm-hmm.
They got liver, they got tripe scraps there they used to give them to eat and stuff. And them dogs were healthy and hard as a rock.
Yeah, I bet.
It wasn't like city dogs where they all got guts on them and,
They're all in shape.
Well, they're doing what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
Working.
Yeah, working dogs, yeah.
And you could go to anybody's dog yard and they'll bark at you when you drive in with the truck. But when you walk in with the owner, you can pet anyone. Some are smart enough to shake hands. Other ones run in a house. They don't want to be touched.
Mm-hmm.
So you leave them alone, but they do run. Now, there's no way you can force those dogs to run. What happens when they're puppies, you got a couple of older dogs you take, you put them up front, and you put 2-3 puppies on a line behind them,
Mm-hmm.
and you go real slow with them, and they learn. And all of a sudden, after several times out, these puppies want to pass these older dogs. So the one that's the most aggressive, you'll take and hook up with an older dog that's the lead dog up front and take them on a 2, 3, 4 mile run, on a 100-pound cart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they learn. And then you learn them a right turn is G, a left turn is haw. If you holler whoa or ho or something, good luck. They ain't stopping. And all of a sudden, them puppies, they get really good. So now you hook 2 up together, maybe with 4 dogs, and you take them on a flat trail someplace with a few turns, and they understand G and haw pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So then you hook them up in the fall when you're running your bigger team, and you hook them right behind the leaders. And they're so aggressive and got so much spunk, they want to catch your leaders going. And then the next time you take them out, you hook 1 or 2 of them up with the leaders and see if they can keep up. And that's how you develop new ones.
Mm.
Now, there's lead dogs, they don't understand commands, but they'll turn where there's a turn. Well, when you're at a race, if you got a right or left turn, they have markers in the snow, red or blue or yellow or something. You got a turn, you holler G, you don't know if them dogs are going G or they're going left. So you got to step on a brake and you got to keep hollering, no, 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 the other way. And then they learn by that,
The other G.
I've seen guys' dogs up in Alaska that came to race here in Ashland when we had a race up there. And there was probably, well over 100 dog teams there in Ashland. And when they finished the race, you would come back to the parking area at a lot where you had the trucks parked, and there was 4 or 5 foot snowbanks. And instead of going around the trail that was cut the road and that for the trucks, they'd holler G or haw, and then the leaders would take the whole team right over that snowbank, right to their truck.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys, they got a knack for training dogs.
It sounds like it.
Money-wise up there, dogs are expensive.
What are we talking for expensive?
Up there today, when I was up there, you could buy a dog that'll run somewhere $300 to $500.
Mm-hmm.
A lead dog would sell for maybe $1,000, $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
The guys up there that run the big teams, they're not selling their best leaders until they're older,
Mm-hmm.
and $5,000 and up.
Sure.
Oh,
But
it's money.
but those dogs will train your younger dogs and stuff. And most of them guys up there, when their dogs get old, they just keep them, and they'll hook them up just for fun for the kids
Mm-hmm.
to go, 3, 4, or 5 dogs to go down the river and through the woods or something, and they don't race anymore.
Right.
But when you're taking the dogs, putting them in a truck to go to a race or training, them old timers are on top of their houses howling and screaming bloody murder. They want to go. So a lot of guys just unhook them and they let them follow.
Right.
And they'll run behind the sled, and they'll go so far, then they'll turn around and just go back home. So when you come back after running 10, 15, 20 miles, you come back to the dog yard, they're on top of their houses, they're all barking. You're coming back with the
Mhm.
team, you know.
So about what age do they usually retire racing dogs?
Probably about 8.
Okay.
The top is about 3 years old. They start getting good. 5, 6, and 7, they're at their prime.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a couple that were 10 years old that I got from somebody in Michigan, because he didn't run that year, and they ran just as good as my younger dogs. You know, all depends how the dog is trained and what shape they're in.
Sure.
Now, the females will run anywhere from 35 to 45 pounds and stand 22, 24 inches high. The males will run any place from 45 to 55 pounds. 50 is ideal. And it'll be 24, 25, 26 inches, about the size of a German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
So now, on your dog team, the 2 dogs that run in front of your sled are your biggest, toughest dogs. They're usually 2 males. They're called the wheel dogs. When you go around a corner, these are the guys that are going to turn the front of your sled to get you around that corner, even though you're on the back dragging a foot, dragging a heel, dragging a toe. Then you got your team dogs that fill in the middle. And then you got your 2 lead dogs up front. Now, some people run 1 lead dog. Most people run 2 lead dogs because they go a lot better when you have 2 lead dogs up front. They're competing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you put 2 males up front, it's so-so. You put a female with a male up front, now you're moving. You know, it's like the girls try to outdo the boys.
Sure.
That's funny.
And I've had females outrun males for leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They'll run, well, let's say you're running 7 or 8 miles straight. If they got a dump, they'll dump flying. They'll run, you know.
I've seen it, yeah.
It'll
It's
fly.
funny.
Yeah. If you get one that puts the brakes on, you're in trouble. You know, you got to wait for me to finish, you know,
Mhm.
doing my job. Keep going, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen in Anchorage, at the North American in March. That's the big race. You run Thursday. Thursday. No, Friday and Saturday you run 20 miles each day. Sunday you run 30 miles. Then you go down Main Street on 2nd Street. That's the main drag in Fairbanks. And you go down there, then they hit the river, then they run through woods and that. And them dogs will run that 20, 30 miles straight. They don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're on the back of that sled. You're pedaling with 1 foot when you get little inclines or a grade. You're pushing with 1 foot to keep going. Now you're eating oranges. Now you're drinking Coke. Now you're wondering, why am I on here? You know. Excuse me. And there's people all over the trails, with video cameras, TV stations. You got helicopters. They take pictures of the teams from above, and that's the state deal. That's the big thing in the state every year. Are those 2 races, the Iditarod and the North American.
How long is the North American?
How many miles?
Yeah.
Well, you run 20.
20. Duh. Okay. Simple
Friday
math.
and Saturday,
Yeah.
yeah. Friday and Saturday is 20. Sunday is 30.
Sure. I didn't even think to put that together.
Right? Okay, the Iditarod,
That was a dumb question.
there's 2 trails on the Iditarod. One was 1,149 miles, and I think the other one was 1,100 or shorter.
Yeah.
Now, the years that they don't have enough snow to start the race in Anchorage, they'll go to Finger Lake, Nancy Lake, 50, 60, 70 miles away, and they'll start the race over there, so it's that many miles shorter. So now they got all the TV crews, personalities, people you wouldn't think of that are on TV. They're over there to see the race and everything. So then they take off from there just like anything. And when you finish, like I said, when you finish the race and you're in Nome, you stay there 2, 3, 4 days before they come with the planes and take you back to Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets quite expensive. but a lot of people take you in. A lot of them have dogs. You have a place to keep your dogs while they pick you up and stuff. So it's kind of a nice deal, you know. I don't know if there's. I'm sure there's gambling going on them two races. You know,
Gotta be.
There's a native Indian guy in Alaska. His name was George Atla. He was the hero of the state, the best sprint racer ever. So I met George in Ashland one year. He came with a couple other guys from Alaska to race. And he cleaned house here. All three of them guys took all the money.
Yeah.
Then they go to Minnesota, Canada, then they go back up to Alaska. So one of the guys that I stayed with in Wasilla that I bought sprint dogs from had a fishing business, and George was in a fishing business. And they were kind of buddies. So anyway, when I went up one year, the guy I stayed with, Jack, he says, let's go watch the North American. And I said, well, where are we going to stay? He said, well, we'll stay by George's house. I said, what do you mean we'll stay by George's house? I mean, because this guy was like God, you know? And he said, George is a jerk. He says, we're in business together fishing. I thought, wow, if the guys back home knew Ted's going to stay by George, I'm a hero, you know? So anyway, we drive that 300 some miles from Wasilla up there. We get over there. We go to his house. He's got a log cabin out of this world. He's got a dog yard with probably 80, 90 dogs.
Wow.
Got a sled shop. Got a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Go in the house, take your shoes off. Met his wife, Karen. I think that was wife number 3 or 4, maybe 5. And in the front room, here's Grandpa sitting, Grandma sitting. All the chiefs, they're sitting there on couches. Beautiful house log cabin he's got. And he and George was sponsored by Exxon.
Oh, wow.
Gas and oil or whatever it was.
Oh.
They gave him a truck, carry 40 dogs.
Wow.
Holy crap.
And George had it all, you know.
It's quite the sponsor.
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, we ate supper that night by George. He done the cooking. But then we slept in one of the sheds he had. He had a potbelly stove in there. They started up for us. We had sleeping bags. We had bearskin rugs we had over us.
Oh, sweet.
Man, slept in there. We hated to get up the next morning. So the next morning you get up and George was in the yard feeding dogs and stuff. And he said, hey, you guys come on in for breakfast. And I said, well, we're going to go to town. We're going to impose. Oh, no, come on in the house. He made breakfast. The whole family sat in the front room watching TV. Then come outside and I pull out a camera. And my buddy says, put the camera away. I said, why? George says, I don't allow pictures here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why? He says, take pictures, they get in magazines, you get money, revenue, I get nothing. You take videos, gets on TV. I said, oh, that's
Sure.
fine. I said, no hard feelings. He said, no, and he shook my hand, you know.
Cool.
Easy.
So then he took us through the dockyards. You know, we petted maybe a dozen dogs, showed us his leaders, showed us his sled shop where they made dogs. They had steamers for bending the runners, the bows, the handles, just like we had down here and stuff. And that was really unique. And, you know, the guy was really friendly. Well, there was a guy in Wisconsin named Gary Ettinger. I forget where he lived there, west on Highway 8. He went up one year to race dogs. And because he fished during the summer, him and George didn't get along. So on purpose, George came over and he shook my hand in front of him, and he wouldn't let his hand go for about 5 minutes. My hand go for about 5 minutes, you know. So then, in Wisconsin, there was a young guy named McRae. Doug and Duncan was his dad, and they wanted to get into big-time racing dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So he started out like we did with Siberians, got to Alaskan Huskies, ran pretty good. And he got hooked up with a guy in Canada named Jim Harvey that was the hero. Well, Doug got some dogs from Jim. They put a team together, and they went up to Fairbanks one year to run the North American. And Doug was probably 21, 22 years old. So when you're from down here and you come up there to run dogs, you're not one of the favorites. The locals are supposed to win. Long story short, Doug won the North American that year, and he set a record.
Oh, wow.
So on Doug's dogs, he had the harnesses and lines and stuff that I made.
Okay.
When people found that out, I was getting telephone calls and letters like you can't believe for harnesses.
Oh, you got busy.
Yeah, well, they were made out of 1-inch nylon webbing, but I found webbing that was half the thickness, and it was really lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 2 different styles you made for sprint dogs. And in the front here, that went around their neck, we had foam padding and then fake fur. And it fit, around here and down to the breastbone. Well, them guys up there were just running straight fake fur over the webbing, and the dog's fur was worn out where ours weren't.
Sure.
So I had business galore there,
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And then I made freight harnesses. When we started out with Malamutes, it's a different type harness, and it's got a 1-foot bar on the back, and the webbing goes back with a big O-ring, and these dogs would weight pull. So they had a sled with wheels on it. It was like a skid, and they would put 50-pound bags of dog food on there for these dogs, and they had to pull like 20 feet. So they had it at State Fair Park. They had it at different places around Wisconsin. They had it at dog races.
How cool would that have
Yeah, I
been?
mean, really cool, yeah.
So I had a male that pulled, I think, 1,200 pounds, and a female done about 900.
Oh, wow.
But there was dogs that pulled 1,500 to 2,000 pounds at 20 feet.
I would have never guessed that much weight.
No, never.
That's impressive.
There's a woman and her husband named Nancy Russell that live up at Colgate, and she probably had, 40, 50 Malamutes. She started out showing dogs, and then she got into weight pulling, and then she became a judge at dog shows. And Nancy's dogs always won the weight pull. There was people came from Illinois and Michigan with good-sized Malamutes. Some had Saint Bernards, but her dogs pulled the best, So then I guess she got into Akitas and different stuff like that. But I had a friend up in Sheboygan. He had Samoyeds. They showed them and they raced them. They were pretty looking dogs with them big tails and all white, but no speed. But American Kennel Club gave them some kind of award for, a working dog or something. They got certified and stuff, so that was kind of neat. But
so, how many how many years were you involved in this world, in the dog racing?
Oh, about 20 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot in 20 years.
If you had to just take a guess, how many how many harnesses do you think you built for people?
Thousands.
That's
Holy
wild.
Collars and harnesses, thousands.
That's really cool.
It'd take me to make a racing harness from scratch, it would take me probably 15 to 18 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
And
Quick.
and to make a freight harness for the weight pulling dogs, that was all heavier webbing. You're talking probably good half hour or more.
Sure.
Still, that's good. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had business going on for sure.
Oh yeah, we
Wow.
done good with the harnesses. They paid for a lot of the trips up north and Minnesota, Michigan, we'd go and stuff. And then the guy, my buddy Frank from Jackson, Michigan, that made dog sleds, he sold harnesses for me. He had somebody else making them, and they upped the price. And I guess I was cheaper, so I got the deal.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever sponsor anybody?
Was I?
No, did you ever sponsor anybody?
No,
or?
no.
Okay.
No, I was sponsored by Pet Pro Plan,
Yeah.
dog food company. They sponsored me, and a little bit from Cabela's.
Oh,
That's cool.
sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was good. And outside of that, the rest of the money came out of your pocket.
Right.
But at the end of the year, well, the first few years we were always in the red.
Sure.
And
I get
once
that.
you get better dogs and learn what to do and how to feed and stuff, like racing cars or anything,
Mhm.
it gets better. And if you make a little bit of over what you spent on a weekend going up north, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're having fun.
Yeah, well,
Sounds like a blast. Sounds
Yeah.
like very, very, very hard work.
Oh, yeah.
But
7 days a week.
right.
Yeah.
Summertime's the worst.
Right.
Oh, you're already doing that.
Yeah.
Well, in the summertime, the flies are terrible on dogs' ears.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I used to go by Paulie the vet on Highway 100 in Oklahoma there in West Ellis. And I used to get jars or plastic squeeze tubes, like it looked like apple jelly. And you'd put that on your hands and you'd rub that on the dog's ears and in their ears. And that kept them from the flies biting, chewing the tips of their ears off.
Sure.
So
It's
the
like
first
swap.
couple
Yeah.
times you done it, that was all right. Now they see you coming out of the house or the garage with that yellow, in your hand. They duck in the doghouse. They didn't want you putting that on their ears. You'd have to yank them out of the doghouse,
Mhm.
And some of them, they get bit and stuff, and then they try to, rub their ears to get it off and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we deal with that here every
Oh, the
year.
flies
Yeah.
here are just awful.
It's usually the pigs. They don't leave them. Flies don't leave them alone.
No.
We gotta cover their ears too.
Yeah, I used to buy that stuff from the vet by the case.
I wonder what it
And-
was.
Yeah, apple jelly.
Well,
something like it, yeah.
it looked like apple.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
jelly, like salve, Vaseline.
Sure.
And
'Cause
you
swat's
put
more
it
like-
on your hands, and then they come running. They think you got a milk boat. You'd hit them by the ears and rub it inside their ears, and they'd run in their house or they'd roll around on the ground.
Because swat's more like a Vaseline, right?
It's like
Or
a white
yeah,
cream.
like
you
almost like a
know?
grease,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a white grease.
Mhm.
There was a place at Rhinelander called Foster and Smith, and you could buy anything you needed for animals there. So we used to get our rabies shots, temper shots, anything from them, and they gave you a certificate that you filled out.
Hmm.
So if the health department come checked on you, every dog was always up on rabies and their shots.
Right.
Now, a couple times a year, you would worm the dogs in summer.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to the vet, you could go broke.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So Farm and Fleet, here come Ted.
Yep.
So what I used to buy there was horse or pig wormer,
Sure.
and you'd put a little bit on a piece of meat
Mm-hmm.
and give it to them, and they'd suck it down like on a piece of liver sausage or something. And that's how you wormed them. If you went to the vet, they wormed the back end. That was $30-$40 a dog. Well,
Right,
you're
yeah.
not going to do that,
Mm-mm.
And then after a while, they started getting bigger tubes, horse and pig wormer and stuff. And we used to get it from Foster and Smith, too, with pharmaceutical there in Rhinelander. And that was a good deal up there, too. The price was always right.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd ship stuff, you'd have it in 2-3 days.
Huh.
I don't know if they're still in business or not.
I was just gonna ask.
Check them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were there because I started in the late 70s with dogs. And by 78, 79, I think I started racing 3 dogs, 5 dogs, 7 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you take them to the vet, you're going broke.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you had one that tore a pad or something, well, that had to go to the vet.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometime they'd knock out a toenail or something. You'd go there, they'd sew them up.
Sure.
A week later, they're running,
Mhm.
But outside of that, it was exciting every week going somewhere different to a race, meeting different people, seeing dogs, equipment, all that kind of stuff. Then you get to an age when you hit 50, a little over, you're done.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
getting up 7 days a week, you know, taking 3, 4 days a week to run at the farm or kettle moraine and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, that gets tiresome. So when you get out of it, you sell your equipment, sell your dogs. Some you give away and just have memories now of it.
Did you when you got out of racing? Did you still continue to make harnesses for a while, or?
I did for a while. I had a friend up at Wasilla that made sleds, and he would sell them up there too. And then he died. He was in his 60s when he died, so that stopped.
Mm.
So then I just quit making them, and then I had people still calling, and we'd go, you know, to a dog race. You know, they'd see me, they'd ask, "Hey, you still got harnesses and that?" And got rid of that, got rid of the machine, and you know, you think about all the hours you spent down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're at a race and you see your harnesses on other dogs.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And Doug, that won the North American there, Fairbanks, he had my harnesses on his dogs.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That was the biggest deal of going up there that year, you know.
Mhm.
That must have felt amazing though. See that?
Oh yeah,
That felt really good.
Very fulfilling.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's super cool that he won with your gear on, and it's after. I mean, it sounds like you were just in such demand after that. You know,
Well,
everybody wanted
guys
'em.
that made harnesses, collars, sleds, when you got to a race, you barely got out of the truck. There was people, "Hey, did you bring any harnesses?" I remember one year at Shawano, I never got out of the truck, and I had 6, 7 people, and most of their dogs were pets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I made out at Eagle. There was a couple that had Malamutes, and they had a horse, and they asked me if I could make a harness for their horse
Yeah.
so that they could go ski jogging,
Mhm.
you know. So I go out there in the fall one year training dogs, and I stopped at their house, got tape measure out, and measured this monster that they had. Took me about 2 days to make the harness for this horse, you know. I never had a neck that big or a harness that long. Well, anyway, took it out there, and God, I hope this thing fits. They brought the horse out, put it on, and fit perfect.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So then I had it set up with 2 rings on the back that it could pull 2 people on skis. So I seen them when we were training dogs. They came a couple of times down the horse trail in the snow with the horse, and with the 2 people on skis.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just tickled pink with that. Then I had another guy ask me if I could make a harness for a Saint Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you try to measure them, and the dog would either try to nip you.
Oh yeah.
No, this ain't happening,
No.
you know.
No.
So, but yeah,
about-
that was kind of neat.
How about a harness for a llama?
You read my mind.
I don't know. I don't have the machine anymore.
No, but if you could just point us in the right direction.
yeah, it was kind of unique doing that for all them years and stuff, and you kind of miss it.
Oh yeah.
They used to show the Iditarod on TV
Okay.
when it was over in the March,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't seen it in 3-4 years.
Mm.
They'd run it 2 or 3 Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
They'd show you the start, the checkpoints, and the finish. And then they'd interview the drivers and look at the dogs. I haven't seen that at all anymore.
I wonder what changed. I guess
Yeah.
the whole world's changing outside of animal stuff,
Yeah.
and I mean, TV's changed a lot too.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if you find something on YouTube, like
I bet there's probably like some kind of live stream of it on the internet
It's gotta be
somewhere.
somewhere,
you
yeah.
know?
I
Who
had
knows?
had the Olympics on before I came here today,
Me too.
Mhm.
and I had channel 34 on, not the one on 2, and they had 2 dog teams.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that on there today?
No, I didn't.
And they were just for fun. One guy was a comedian, and the woman, I don't know who she was, but she beat him.
Sure.
And I just caught the tail end, maybe the last 2 minutes of it.
Huh.
The guy fell off the sled. The dogs ran. He ran down the hill. He caught up to the dog. You know, and I don't know. I always wonder why they never had an Olympic dog race.
Yeah,
you would,
right.
You would think.
With all the other
I mean,
things they have in there.
right.
That's
You know, and they don't. Nothing going on with that. I guess it was brought up several times, and the committee always turned it down.
Yeah.
that's strange.
I mean,
Though we have breakdancing in the Summer Olympics.
Well, Summer Olympics is like laughable nowadays. So
it's different.
at least in the Winter
Yeah.
Olympics, it's a little bit more crazy because
Right.
like bobsleds are going 80 miles an hour down the course.
Winter Olympics are really cool.
Yeah,
Huh.
That's for sure.
they'd be a lot cooler with dog racing.
They would be. I agree. So
Well,
all the talk of falling, did you ever take any good falls off the sled?
oh yeah, I had bruised ribs several times.
Oh yeah.
That lasted to the end of the season. Banged up kneecap once, one time an elbow. Lost the dog team twice training. Got back to the truck. They were all standing there waiting.
That's cool. They know where to go.
Yeah. A woman in Rhineland, I know one time she broke an arm.
Ooh.
She hit a fence post on a farm where they had the trail. Outside of that, I'm sure everybody's had bumps and bruises,
Oh, yeah.
and you know
For sure.
that's just something that's going to happen. That's
Mhm.
anybody tells you they avoided it, no.
Yeah, they're lying. So I'm
Yeah.
curious about the transport when you're taking all these dogs to
Right.
a race. Are they're all kenneled individually?
Right.
Okay.
You have on your trailer or your truck, you got a box that's probably 24 by 4 feet by 2.5 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one on a trailer with 8, and then I had another one that had 20.
Ooh.
And you put straw in there,
Mm-hmm.
and on the front of the door, you got a cutout on the front of the door. And then I had bars, 4 bars on the front of the door for air and stuff. They were
Mhm.
made out of quarter or 3/16 rod. And I had a guy weld stuff up, then you bolt it to the door.
Sure.
And they all got their own box.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you stop, and you got you got the trailer with 8 dogs, you had chains about 12 inches long with 2 brass snaps. You hooked one to the trailer, and then one would go on a dog's collar, and they'd relieve themselves, or you'd feed them there, hooked up. When they're done, you put them back in the box. When we got to the races, we had a long chain. Every 6 feet, there was another foot chain on, and you staked them out in a line.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they got done doing their business, you'd put the collar, the harnesses on them, and then you had your sled, and you have a bunch of people helping hold the front of the lines, and then you take your leaders, get them hooked up, and they would pull the lines tight, and the people would hold the line between their collars. And then you hook up the wheel dogs that were in front of your sled, and they're jumping up and down all the time. And you never felt sorry for them people, because if you're dumb enough to hold them 2 idiots, and we'd always pick bigger people, bigger guys. Hey, can you hold them for me? And then you hook up all the ones in the middle. So you'd have 5, 6, 7, 8 people taking the dogs, and you were on a sled. You rolled the brake to the starting line. Then they had a fence on both sides. You got to the starting line, and every 1 minute, a team would leave. And when they told you to go, they dropped the flag, told you to go, you take off, and then the next team would come in. So sprint racing, you were always 1 minute apart.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got up to Alaska and they had the big North American, they were like 2-3 minutes apart. And it wasn't that you could pass people, it was how fast your time was. And every team was timed.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really accurate with that. So when you come across the finish line, your lead dog, that was the stop of the time,
Okay.
And we always carried a stopwatch with us in our pocket to look how you're going and stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
And then when you'd cross, like out front here, you'd cross the road, a highway, they'd have people standing, or they'd put barricades up, and the dogs would cross the road to get into the next field, the next set of woods. And you run through the woods, and you had your turns and up and down and stuff. And when you came back, it seemed like that last mile you were coming back, they knew they were coming home.
Mm-hmm.
They really picked it up. And then you we had a 3-foot whip we'd crack, sound like a 22 rifle going off. And when they'd start to slow down or something, you'd holler at them, crack the whip, you'd hit the snow twice with it. Everybody got with the program. You know, they kept going. So, never had a dog fight where anybody got bit or chewed up.
Mm-hmm.
Others, some did. You know, some dogs were aggressive, and people probably shouldn't have run them, but they did.
Sure.
You know, like anything you do,
Yeah.
do's and don'ts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trial and error
But-
with animals. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
But today it's not as big as it used to be. Even in Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
the Iditarod is down. I think the North American is down. And the smaller races, like there's several clubs in Alaska. We only had one in Wisconsin Trailblazers. And every month we'd go somewhere in summer and meet. They'd either come down here or we'd go to Green Bay, Rhinelander, wherever some of the dog people that ran dogs lived. We'd have a meeting at their house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you get your sponsors. Now, one year, Milwaukee County sponsored a race at Whitnall Park. So, luckily, I was off 3 weeks from work with pay.
Nice.
I was the
timing.
guy. I was the guy that laid it out, and I had a guy and his wife, Spence and Judy. They belonged to Franklin Snowmobile Club at the time. We laid the trails out in Whitnall Park. We started off 92nd and Forest Home. We had the starting line, and they cleared all the field, everything out the county for us, where they could park the trucks with the dogs and that. Then the people, the spectators, they parked 92nd Street, Forest Home Avenue, and then we took off running east and went through the park. We had trails all over. We went all the way down to 76th Street, all around the golf course and stuff with the big teams, and came back. We had probably 70, 80 teams
Holy
showed up
crap.
for that.
That's a lot.
And motels on Highway 100, they were all busy, you know. with-
Oh, I bet.
and Milwaukee County sponsored it. And we only had a $3,000 purse.
Yeah.
And we had a good team came from Alaska, and they came on a Friday when we were working on trails. They came from a race in Michigan, and they were going to run here, but when they found out the purse was $3,000, they took off and went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sure.
So a lot of these guys were upset, like, well, why didn't you talk them into it? You know,
Mhm.
well, these guys got 40 dogs in a truck,
Right.
and they got to make their expenses every week. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of different, you know. But
Very neat.
a lot of the guys I met up there, they're really friendly, and you'd ask, you know, you got any dogs for sale? No. What do you mean? You crazy? You got 50, 60 dogs and you ain't got one to sell? You know?
So
And-
the guys that are going like, you know, from Alaska to here and back and
Yeah.
forth, that they're just driving, right? They're not
you
flying.
come with your truck. They drive
Yeah.
their truck. Excuse me. They come with their trucks down here. They start out in Laconia, New Hampshire.
Oh.
Then there's something else in New York they go to. I don't remember what it was. Then they would come here to Ashland, Wisconsin, run that. Then they would head into Ely, Bemidji, Minnesota, Brainerd, Minnesota. Then they'd head to Canada, and then they'd go back to Alaska for end of February and March. So they were on the road every weekend. They put
Wow,
some
that's a life.
some miles on.
For
Yeah.
sure. That's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
big
Those-
string.
Well, those guys went through thousands, money wise. Those guys had dogs that were fantastic. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's like if you're going to race NASCAR, you got good cars and then you got cars,
Yeah.
and these guys all had good cars.
Yeah.
You know,
Sounds like it.
oh yeah. They're, you know, it's a different bunch up there. And during the winter months, they don't do much of anything except play with the dogs,
Sure.
you know.
That
And
Sounds like a good life to me.
Right. Something to
Well-
do during the winter.
Right.
well, we'd go grocery shopping. $200, you'd come out with 2 bags of groceries
Sure.
at the grocery store at that time in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I have no idea what you get. We flew there one year, a friend from Jackson and I. came to the airport in Anchorage coming home one morning to catch a plane. He said, we'll have donut and the coffee, you know. He bought a coffee and a donut. I bought a donut and an orange juice. It was like $21.
Woo!
Ooh, that was
Oh
back
my
then.
And
gosh.
he said to me, he said, I bet you don't eat bakery no more. I said, no, not here.
Wow.
what
Expensive
we-
living there.
Yeah.
What we did we'd go to eat during the day. They had a cafe called Iditarod Cafe. That was the biggest thing in Wasilla. Most of the guys that raced Iditarod lived in that area. It was Wasilla, and then 17 miles up the road, there was a town called Nick, K-N-I-K, and that's where all these guys had the dogs. So we'd go and eat in there during the day, and it was expensive. And Joe Reddington says, why don't you guys go after 6 o'clock? Why? He says, go. So we get in there at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Everything is half price or less.
Oh,
Got to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
a couple took me out one night. Guy that used to sell harnesses for me and Bill Sleds. We went to a nice supper club there in Wasilla. We had steak dinners and everything after 7 o'clock. For the three of us, it wasn't 50 some bucks. The next day I went and I bought 3 pizzas and some soda. I had a $70 bill.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
What a difference.
So today, I don't know. Now, when I was there was one stop sign
Mhm.
in 1980 in town. 5-10 years later, few stop and go lights. McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's.
Sure.
No Iditarod Cafe, no supper club.
Oh, man.
And one year we're up at Fairbanks for the race. After the race, being a friend, we went to Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
So we order whatever. I says, don't worry about it. I says, I got it, you know. Couple sandwiches for each of us, 2 sodas, almost $40.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
That's like now.
That's
You know?
nuts. So
Yeah.
so if you're going up there, pack a lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some peanut butter and jelly.
Well,
Something.
the people that I stayed with, they always fed you. The one guy, he hunted a lot up at Brooks Mountain Range. He would go hunting, and he'd have caribou and sheep and different stuff, and he'd have it in a slow cooker all day. When you'd come back at night, you know, I'd go visit people during the day and stuff. That food was out of this world.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other guy I stayed with the fishing, they had freezers full of fish. And every night for about a week we ate fish. I was getting sick. And his wife made fish, and I never knew the ways they made different fish. But that stuff tasted altogether different than what we eat down here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And none of them eat supper early. Everything is 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
I'd starve.
No matter, yeah, no matter where you work. One of the other friends of mine there, his wife worked at I forget what they call it, where they sell fireplaces. They had a name for it.
Not sure.
And she worked there, and they got one here in Wisconsin too. And she'd come home. She couldn't make supper till he was done with the dogs.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, it was interesting doing it all them years. You know,
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. For
Good time.
sure.
yeah.
It's just a wild life,
Yeah.
honestly, and just an immense amount of work that I can't imagine.
Well,
It's very
One,
cool.
one of the guys I stayed with had moose in his backyard
Yeah.
by the dogs. So I asked him, I says, Jack, I said, okay to go there and take pictures? He says, well, you're on your own. Oh, took my camera, walked through the dockyard, and the moose was there with her calf. And I got within 20 yards of him. He kept staring at me, and my 35 millimeter camera was going wild. And I walked around her. She never blinked an eye. I walked backwards, went back to the house. She never bothered me.
That's cool.
You know.
Very scary, but
Oh.
cool.
And they tell you if you run into moose, stay away from them.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
I bet. That-
Breeding season, you
that
know.
thing weighs as much as a car.
And it's bigger than a car.
Between Wasilla and Fairbanks, there's a town called Cantwell. It's halfway. There's 2 gas stations. Indian on the left, local guy on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Just before you get there to the gas stations, there's a bridge, and there's a big swamp down in there. And the guy I'm with there stopped the truck. He says, "Get the camera." We got out and we walked up to the guardrail. There was 5 or 6 bull moose in there.
Oh.
Make the record books look silly down here.
Jeez.
So he started calling like a moose, and one answered back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were probably 100 yards from us.
Mm-hmm.
And that snow was, 4 or 5 foot deep. They went through that like 1 inch, And that was really neat to see racks that big,
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. I don't know if I ever. I have had to have seen a moose in a zoo somewhere or something. Like, I don't.
Milwaukee used to have them.
Did
Milwaukee
they?
had one.
Yeah.
they? Yeah, it was next to the pony yard, wasn't it? Or was that elk?
That was elk, I think. I forget now.
I'm not sure.
I've seen a moose live, but never in the wild. I think in the wild I'd run.
Oh, for
The other
sure.
way.
I would put it in reverse real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, this one, we seen them driving down the highway and stuff, and they were okay.
Yeah.
They didn't, people would stop to take pictures of them and stuff, and they didn't bother anybody.
You know,
But if you're on a dog trail with them, you don't want to be there.
that's
No.
terrifying.
No.
They'd come after the dogs. They didn't want them. So
We just worry about hitting, deer with our car. Imagine
Oh,
a
yeah.
moose. Like, you'd be out of the whole vehicle.
Oh,
for sure.
if it doesn't come through your windshield.
Man,
Because once you take the legs off, that body's coming right through you.
absolutely.
I give you a story. It's a little gross if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Guy I knew from Alaska was going to race sprint dogs up to Fairbanks. And they're driving there at night. And they hit a moose on the highway. The moose came through the front window
Ooh.
Oh.
and took the driver's head off.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And the other guy,
Jeez.
I don't know, he was in a hospital. I don't remember his name for a long time. But that moose was that big, and that rack just went right through the front windshield and took Billy's head off.
That's
Jeez.
insane.
Uh,
Talk about terrifying.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
And people up there, there's very few cars or trucks that don't have dents.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
They all, they all hit something somewhere. I've seen white fox up there, seen wolf, some kind of white birds. I don't know what they were called, but they were like seagull scavengers.
Oh, okay.
And then the guys that I stayed with, they always had shotguns by their front door. What's going on here? Something wrong here? And well, we'll show you when time happens. Well, what happens during the day? These ravens would come into the dog yard, and they were looking for dog food, anything left over. Well, these ravens, when they dump a pile, if the dogs sniff or lick it, they get a disease.
Okay.
So these guys or their wives would run out with the shotgun and shoot the ravens.
Sure.
So I'm there one day, and the guy shot 2 of them. They fell in a dog yard. The dogs ran in a house. They would not touch the ravens.
Oh, wow.
That's good. Smart. I thought you were going to say they ate it.
Yeah, they're
No.
ripping it apart. Yeah.
No.
Smart dogs.
So he
Sure.
took a pair of pliers, picked them up, and he threw them in a fire underneath the barrel that he's cooking dog food.
Sure.
And he says, that's the worst thing.
Mhm.
He said, we've had a few dogs die from raven droppings.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
wild.
You know.
That's no good.
No.
So
The more you know.
Right?
yeah, and then you get into the Fairbanks for the big race, and they got snow fence for blocks. Excuse me, down the street. People from all over the world lined up, their cameras, videos, everything. And a woman had a white poodle in her hand that was barking
Oh, no.
at the sled dogs. So one of the local guys going down with the dog team, and guess where the leaders went? By the poodle.
Mm-hmm.
poodle was gone.
Oh no.
That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had that on TV up there.
Oh god.
Yeah, we were standing by the fence watching, and she'd be holding Fifi there, and and all of a sudden this guy's team took off, and right for the poodle they went.
That's
Jeez.
crazy. Oh,
Well,
man.
by the time he got off the sled, there was no more poodle. It was gone.
Sure.
Then he took off, continued on the race.
Well, hopefully nobody brought their poodle to the next race.
Yeah,
right.
Learn a lesson there.
Well, a lot of people would bring little dogs, hold them,
Sure.
and that don't bother the racing dogs or that. But this woman had to hold it over the fence.
Sure.
Look at me. She was dressed in all furs and everything,
Okay.
Toity toity.
Yeah.
I went to a couple of stores in Anchorage and Fairbanks that sell furs, and most of them are owned by Japanese or Orientals.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And the price of the stuff wasn't too bad back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what they get for that stuff.
Probably a lot.
I was trying to find like a raccoon or like a real raccoon or a real like coyote hat, like a fur skin hat. They started at about $500 around here. I'm just online and all that now.
That seems very excessive. I mean, I know there's work put into them, but wow.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the shock. I got a Martin hat from a woman in Fairbanks named Sue Finstead. Custom made it for me. Got 3 tails on it. $200.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
I
definitely
got-
different.
I got another woman friend of mine. His wife made me a red fox hat.
Mm-hmm.
Charged me $50 for it.
That's way different.
Yeah, not anymore.
Way
So-
different.
I got a pair of from a native woman. She made me a pair of wolf gloves for $100.
I bet those are warm.
Yeah.
I got 2 pair of gloves, mittens, not gloves, mittens from Beaver,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
different.
and one's a long pair up to here, and the other one's a shorter pair. And I got them, I don't know, probably for $100 a piece.
Wow.
But these were guys I knew that ran dogs that were natives,
Yeah.
and their wives done that stuff for you
Sure.
when you were up there. I got a black wolf ruff that fits around on your collar. I had it on a parka when I used to race dogs. Bought it on a street from an Indian woman for $200.
Can't beat
No.
that.
No.
I don't know now, even if you're allowed to have that down here.
Not sure.
Don't care. I've had it for 40 years.
Right.
Your grandfather did.
I'm
Yeah, for
grandfathered.
sure.
Yeah. And
Jeez.
well, they used to sell something at their dog races. The native Indians was called squaw candy.
Never heard of it.
It was like beef jerky, probably 18 inches long, big as your thumb, and it was fish with meat and some other stuff. Reference it to a Slim Jim.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Meat stick. Yeah.
Pretty good.
So the first one I had, getting high on this, Well, then had a couple sodas. We're driving back to Wasilla at night, and we ate some of them, and they got to tasting just like regular jerky. But they call it squaw candy.
Huh.
And the natives all made it. And I don't know what they all had in there. I asked the guy I was with. He says, "You don't want to know." That's fine. So, well, I'm happy with that.
Yep.
So I brought it back home. Some of the guys hung around with. They ate it. They loved it,
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they still make it up there, the natives, or who knows what they do,
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but it's an experience to go up there. Now, if you go up there on vacation or something, it runs into thousands.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah.
I'd
I
believe
got
it.
a guy that shoots archery with me. Him and his wife went 2-3 years ago. They flew up there, then they took the boat, and then they took the ride from Anchorage to Fairbanks to train and stuff. And he was over 20 grand.
Ooh.
I think 2 weeks they were gone, or maybe less. I don't know.
That's some cash right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see it. It looks so stunning.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the people are really friendly up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they had a program on TV from Wasilla Police. Guys ever see that on TV?
I might have seen
I don't think
clips,
so.
maybe,
They show you all the riffraff,
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
all the stealing, all the shootings, all the drugs,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. It was called Alaskan State Troopers,
Okay.
I think I've seen clips.
And-
yeah.
and I seen it in Sunday's paper. This Sunday's paper in the TV section is back on. It's on, I don't know what channel, 34 or something.
Mm.
Huh. I'll have to try and watch
Alaskan
that.
State Troopers. And all these places that are on there, half of them I've been to, I've seen. They're all together look different than when I
Mhm.
was there. You know,
The way they advertise Alaska, I wouldn't even think of there
No.
being a crime rate.
No. Just,
summertime motorcycles are up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they go down all the back roads.
Mm-hmm.
Lot of theft, auto parts, trucks stolen, all kinds.
Okay.
Oh.
Normal stuff, I guess. Normal
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Wow.
they run school there, first and second shift.
Huh.
There's a day school and a night school.
That's different.
Let's say you have a farm or some kind of business, and you need your kid to work for you.
Yep.
They go to school at night from like 4 or 5 o'clock till 9 at night.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I had a buddy there from Michigan. He moved up there to Nancy Lake, and he was a high school teacher there. And he drove all them miles from Nancy Lake into Wasilla to the high school every day. Teach second shift.
That's
And they loved
different.
it up there, you know. And he ran the Iditarod. He got last place. He got his red lantern. He never. He said, "I never knew it was that demanding." I mean, the first time they ran it, it was like 21, 22 days.
That's
Oh,
so
now
long.
it's 10 or 11, 12 days. Now it
Right.
depends on the weather. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
But it's coming up though this year, right?
first Saturday in March.
Okay. I'm
Coming
look,
soon. We'll
Look
have to
for it.
Yeah, keep an
Now
eye
they-
out for it.
Yeah.
It used to be on TV the last 2-3 years. I've not seen it. The Milwaukee Journal, after the first couple days, every day they posted the results, who's in what position. Haven't done that for years.
Mm.
Magazines, don't see anything anymore.
That's sad.
Advertising
Yeah.
is way down. I don't know if it costs that much or if people just don't care anymore. Or,
No, the human attention span is definitely awful these
Oh,
days.
it's changed. Yeah.
oh yeah,
You know, people would rather watch some guy dance to a song on TikTok than
Yeah.
right.
see something that's actually cool and takes time to think about.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Well, it's like you go to eat in a restaurant, you know, somebody sits down and they're on their phone right away.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't make the call before you came to eat,
Right.
you know.
For sure. We're also, brainwashed these
Right.
days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like anything, but yeah, they there's I know a lot of natives up there that run dogs and stuff. And boy, they live in some rough places. How they survive in winter. It's amazing, you know.
Sure.
Must be
Yeah.
rough.
Oh yeah.
I see what
Well,
you did there.
Yeah.
You got a lot of guys with money down here that run good dog teams, and they go up there for Iditarod and for the North American and that. And those guys, people like them, but they really don't want you to win.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
They want the locals to win, like every
Mhm.
place, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Local
Yeah.
heroes.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
I know when the McRae kid won that race up there, very few locals would shake his hand. Dog drivers, guys that race dogs, locals, they shook his hand. But a lot of the better people and TV personality that stayed away from him. They were talking to the guys that didn't win.
Sure.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
their state sport, I guess. you
Yeah.
know?
I get it.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that we don't
Check
see.
for it though. Look
Yeah.
for it.
For sure. I guess we'll be watching if we can find a spot. I guess we're watching the Iditarod
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
for sure.
It's got to be somewhere to watch.
Somebody's
Well,
got to televise it somewhere.
Up there, it's on TV, on the news every day.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 stations up there televise it. They do the start, the checkpoints, the finish, who dropped out, who got run over by a moose. They got all that stuff. And they got a lot of planes that fly, and they watch the dog teams during the day. And they notify the drivers if there's a storm or something coming up. And a lot of them, they'll go out in the storm just to get the advantage.
Right.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Sue
Right?
Butcher done that, and Libby Riddles, girl I know up there, she won that race one year. And the worst weather they ever had, she went and made it through it 100-some miles,
Wow.
and she won that race.
It sure sounds like it can be a very cutthroat race.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're
Well,
in it to win.
They're all after the 50 grand or in the pickup truck and whatever they give them now.
Yeah.
And like at the Iditarod office, it was on the second floor of a grocery store. They had pictures and plaques and trophies and stuff. It was like a museum up there.
That's cool.
That is
And everything went out of this old junk second floor
Cool.
office. I don't know if they have a permanent office now, a building that they made for it or what. But they keep in contact all day long with every checkpoint. They know where every driver is at.
That's really
you know
cool.
what's going on and everything.
I'm sure the technology's changed so much
Yeah.
now too.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd imagine they have trackers on them
Yeah,
at
they
this
got
point.
to. Yeah.
They might nowadays. They have, like I said, vets at every dog checkpoint. And there's doctors and stuff too, for the guys that are racing. Because a lot of these guys, they don't sleep 2-3 hours a day.
Yeah, I bet.
And a lot of them guys, they fall asleep. Your buddy's going to take off. He ain't telling you, I'm going.
Yep.
Cutthroat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they stop all over on the trail, arrest the dogs, feed them. And when you come to the villages, they got water and stuff for the dogs, But you can't have any help from outsiders doing certain things. Certain things you can help a guy that's racing with the dogs. You can't grab the dogs and put them on a trail. They get disqualified.
Okay.
The driver's got to do it, or the dog himself. Certain things, they have to make their own food. If you have stuff in the cabin, they're welcome to come in and eat, but you can't make nothing special for them.
Okay.
I don't know how many rules they got. I only know of a couple of guys that were disqualified. The dogs weren't going, and the guys put the whip to them. They got disqualified, and they could never run again.
Oh wow.
That makes sense to me.
So I don't know what they got for rules today. I used to have a rule book.
Right.
When you're out of it, you're out.
For sure.
I'd like to see it on TV again, but it's not on. So I don't know if there's a secret channel that's on or.
Right.
Yeah, we'll look for it. I'll let you know if we find it.
Yeah.
Got to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, look for something somewhere. So
Gotta be online somewhere.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
We'll dig for it.
Another
Yeah.
pay per view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's good at finding stuff though.
We'll make it happen. We'll find something. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's about it. Not much more.
Oh, that was just all incredibly intriguing.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely one of the better talks we've had in a while.
Well,
That's for sure.
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of incidents and stuff. But if you're not up there, you don't see it. You don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
For sure.
Trying to explain to somebody, try to visualize it.
Yeah.
And once you meet the people or meet the dogs, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Is there anybody that you raced with or worked with that you still keep contact with today? No.
Most of the guys that I was with are either out of it or dead. And once you get to the age of 50 down here, a lot of the guys that run sprint dogs get out of it. Very time consuming. Got the wife, you got the kids, you got other stuff you got to do.
Yeah.
Got to do stuff around the house, not just the dogs,
Yep.
It's like you got animals. Every day you got to be with them.
Yeah, I get it.
And I really don't know. Outside of McRae up at Rhinelander, and I think they're retired now too. They stopped racing dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other guys, they're gone. So,
Right.
You look up Wisconsin Trailblazers on a computer, and it would list where they had races.
Okay.
The wife looked last year, and I think they only had 2 or 3 races.
Mm-hmm.
We used to race Green Bay, Shawano, Green Lake, Spooner, Stainer,
over.
Ashland,
Jeez.
Marinesco, Michigan, another place in Michigan. Then we raced in Lower Michigan too, Kalkaska and several places.
Mm-hmm. You were all over.
Yeah, you were gone from end of December till March.
Wow.
Every weekend you were somewhere.
The busy season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah, and then you wonder, why am I doing it? You know, when the season ends, now you're lost.
Right.
All you're doing is feeding dogs and picking up.
Yep.
You know, like your animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Except you're
Well-
opposite. Summer, you're doing stuff. Winter, it's kind of.
Yeah. Total
Yeah.
opposite seasons.
Yeah, there ain't much going on in wintertime.
No. No, not.
I mean, in summer, but in wintertime, yeah, you're busy. And you're making harnesses at night and stuff too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Work during the day, and whenever you get a minute, you start knocking something out.
Yeah.
So, and the cost today, I mean, it's got to be
Oh.
out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know the first dog sled I ever bought was $95.
Hmm.
The most expensive was $300 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My friend in Jackson, Michigan, that made them. It was a swivel sled. Where the seat is, there was bolts in the front and the back, and you could move the handle like side to side, like you were on skis.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that sled. Then there was a guy in New Hampshire named Ed Moody that made a sled that was, I don't know, $300-400. I had 2 of them. And that was like driving in a Cadillac.
That's cool.
So when I'd go to Michigan, I would take Frank's sled. When I raced down here, I would use the other sled. You know, he knew I had them. There's a guy named Clyde Risden, lived in Iron River, Michigan. He made the training carts and the sleds. He'd go to the junkyard, he'd get different angle iron, car tires, axle stuff, and he made the carts you rode on. Then he made sleds, really nice 28-pound sleds. Then he moved to Lower Michigan, I don't know, 15 years ago. And now the sleds, they're all like made out of plastic, polypropylene.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't even look like dog sleds made out of wood anymore.
Right. Sure ain't the
'Cause
same.
All the sleds were made out of either white ash, birch, or oak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And today you look at a sled, I seen one on TV. Well, the one I seen today, it looked like a Mattel sled, you know, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
So they probably don't weigh much.
Mm-hmm.
But God, if you hit something with them, good luck.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Whole sled's toast.
I've hit a few trees with them, a few rocks with them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you just take them home, put them in a fireplace, you burn them.
Oh,
Some you can repair parts. Most of them, they're trash.
right.
You know.
Oh, that has to be just a bad day when you break it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get favorites. You get just like a car or truck. You get a
Mhm.
favorite you like. And get one sled you like, no matter what, you're
Yeah.
going to run it until something happens.
For sure.
If you don't hit nothing with them, they last forever. So,
Yes, that's the goal. Don't hit
Yeah,
nothing.
right.
And no
they're
moves.
all tied with rawhide. They
Okay.
used to be. Now I don't know what they do. Now they probably use nylon line or something to tie them.
Right.
But the rawhide gave and stuff too, you know, when you had
Mhm.
bumps, moguls,
Yeah.
For sure.
stuff you'd hit. And you're only standing on about, 2.5 inches wide by a foot long
Mm-hmm.
on an 1.5 inch runner. Board on top of there, and then you put rubber on top of there, and that's all you're standing on.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you learn going around corners real quick.
Yeah.
How to bend, how to drag your heel. Oh yeah, I got dragged a lot of times.
Oh man.
But
Oh, yeah.
more good times than bad.
That's
You know.
good.
That's the good
That's why you
part,
did it,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Kind of miss it in a way, but I come down the highway and from Wasilla going to Anchorage, and they have snowmobile trails and stuff along the highway. And I see old guys with Alaskan Malamutes and their wives with toboggan sleds. They're going grocery shopping with 6, 8 dogs, and they take them right into town.
Mm-hmm.
And they had places where you could tie the dogs up on the north side of Anchorage. That was kind of cool. You know,
Yeah,
That
that's
is
really
neat.
cool.
It's just like a thing there.
yeah, they're all bundled
Transportation.
up, and you're going 70 down the freeway, and here's the guy with dogs. Going grocery shopping with the wife, you know.
That's
Yeah.
super neat.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. So
Yeah.
that's about it.
All right. Well, want to wrap this up then?
Yeah,
or-
that's fine. It was really, really cool. I'm glad you came to talk.
Oh,
I appreciate your time.
love to talk.
Might have to have you back for the racing pigeons too.
Had racing pigeons.
That is neat.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Then
That is
that-
something I would
We'll
totally
save that
try.
for a part 2.
Right.
Be a good
We-
one.
We won a lot racing pigeons.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that-
Oh, 8 trophies galore.
all right, we're gonna have him back for a part 2 then.
I agree.
Done that. And the archery, several state championships.
Nice.
Now Justin also ran
Mm-hmm.
to shoot.
Sure.
Well, I got guys to shoot with. We win on leagues and stuff. And we shoot a lot of 3D. You know what that is? Shooting at life-size animal targets.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's every kind of target. They got companies that make them, and you shoot at them 5, 10, 8, 12 scoring. And we still bow hunt every year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh. I got a farm on 6 Mile Road that I bow hunt next to Wistellus Bowman Archery Club.
Okay.
Got Mel Hibber on there to farm, and there's some nice bucks on there and
Sure.
stuff. Up north, not as much as there used to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we used to see 60, 70 a day. Now you go up there to see 2, 3 a week. And
I never see nothing ever.
and by me in the backyard on 7 Mile Road, I got more deer than I see up north.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's
Same here.
crazy over there right now.
Mm-hmm. Same here. There'll be deer out in our pastures here, and I go up north. I leave with nothing.
Yeah.
well, we used to hunt by Buckhorn State Park a lot. And we had 25, 30 guys, wives, kids. And during the day, we'd make drives. So you're kicking deer out every drive.
Sure.
And biggest one I got up there was a 13-pointer, scored 156 and 2/8.
Ooh.
The wife got an 8-pointer. I think 130 something that scored. So
Sure.
that's pretty decent.
Heck yeah.
You know, a lot of those. Now you go up there, good luck. You know,
Yeah. For sure.
they cut everything down. It looks like the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They clear cut everything, you know. But a lot of other places we hunted up north were good.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
Right.
And guys you talk to at the archery shop, true or not, they're getting run over by deer every time they hunt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Let me see your phone.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's always something.
Always. Never ends.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Well,
well-
Oh,
let's do it.
about it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming
Okay.
again, and
Oh, nice meeting you guys.
Yeah.
happy Hop Day,
absolutely.
everybody.
Happy Hump Day.
There you go.